Austin Ekeler is currently being drafted in the second round of Yahoo leagues, coming off a season where he primarily worked behind Melvin Gordon, but would go on to rush for 557 yards on 4.2 yards per carry and amass a whopping 108 targets, 993 receiving yards, and a total of 11 touchdowns on this season. Ekeler's workload is expected to increase once more this season with Melvin Gordon out the door. Ekeler finished last season as the 6th best running back in fantasy, but things have obviously changed since then. The Chargers changed offensive coordinators halfway through 2019, and maybe more importantly, Philip Rivers, a huge advocate of the dink and dunk pass game, is no longer with the team, but instead the Chargers are slated to go with Tyrod Taylor, who completed under 50% of his passes last time he was in the NFL, which was, by the way, 3 years ago. On the contrary, in his full seasons with the Bills, Shady McCoy was averaging around 50-60 receptions a season with Tyrod under center there. As far as offensive coordinator Shane Steichen is concerned, he took over halfway through the season last year, as we mentioned, and Ekeler would still go on to see 52 of his 108 targets come under his regimen. So the good news is, he clearly loves Ekeler. The head coach loves Ekeler. The concern is now Steichen has had to implement, or he's had time to implement his offensive system over this offseason for these Chargers, which we still do not fully know how much that includes Austin Ekeler until we see games played during the season. Obviously, gamble there. And then even the bigger concern, it's at quarterback. We can't expect the TDs to be there for Ekeler that he had last season, and we have to be just as concerned with how the overall offense will look as we, again, expect Tyrod Taylor and Herbert to be there, and we can't expect that combo to come anywhere close to the 4th in the league in passing yards mark that Philip Rivers had last season. Simply put, Ekeler has the potential to put up a CMC/Saquon type numbers year if Philip Rivers is at quarterback, but he's not. He's not at quarterback. That's a big red flag, which makes him a gamble. A gamble at the RB14 mark, still not that bad though. As you know, some of the notable running backs behind him are James Conner, Jonathan Taylor, Leonard Fournette, Le'Veon Bell, all guys who have their own baggage as well with extreme upside. So he's in the right mix there. That being said, I think it's reasonable to think if Ekeler stays healthy, he can still amass around 1,500 yards from scrimmage, 70 receptions, 7 touchdowns, which is good for 227 fantasy points in PPR leagues, and a top 10 running back last season as well that would rank him, which makes him more than worthy of drafting at the RB14 position.